Good morning. I'm Mateen Tabak with SI Commercial Realty. And today we're doing our weekly segment of interviewing mayoral and district council people candidates. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Sakib Sheikh, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about his plans. I'm going to let you, Sakib, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Mateen. Thank you for having me. So my name is Sakib Sheikh, and I'm a candidate for City Council in District 8. I've lived in District 8 for about 25 years. I'm a small business owner. I was the former Director of Constituent Services for Councilman Pelaez at the District 8 office. And let's see, I went to UTSA and for undergrad in political science, and St. Mary's for a graduate degree in international economics.
So, Mr. Sheikh, I want to ask you first question about your economic plan for the district and what do you have in mind?
Great question. So everybody should come in with a plan, right? With an agenda. So I look at District 8 in two ways. We're the most economically diverse in terms of the types of businesses that we have. We have everything, small business to enormous business, to one of the largest employers, USAA. But when I look at the district, we have an upcoming project which is called the Silk Road Corridor, which is a cultural designation for Wurzbach and Blumel down to Wurzbach and Fredericksburg. That's going to open us up to state and federal funding for beautification and economic development. All of the streets that are on District 8 get specific attention. They're quite beautiful, they're very well kept, but I've always had an issue with Wurzbach. I always feel that Wurzbach has been neglected. We have an opportunity to give it the love and attention that it deserves, and the businesses around it are going to benefit from that.
Great. My second question to you is about your safety and security plan for the district residents and for the neighborhoods. As you know, we've had quite a few incidents lately, and as City of San Antonio, what's your plan when it comes to safety?
So safety is critical for any city. What in the end, what does it matter, right? If we have economic development, but we don't have safety. A couple of things. Our budget is allotting for 65 new officers for the next 5 years, 65 each year for the next 5 years. That's going to keep up with population growth, and we were a little bit behind for the past few years by about 100 officers. So that's going to enhance police presence and response time. One of the things that has been big in the neighborhoods that I've been block walking, like Hunters Creek, like Castle Hills Forest, like Woods of Chavano, these are neighborhoods with hundreds of homes, and they've been experiencing car break-ins. So I want to get the involvement of the safe officers. I want them to be more involved with the community and kind of make it easier on them by separating them from being on-duty officers. So all these things start with a conversation about what's possible. And then we get into what's probable. And so this is where I want to put my focus on when it comes to safety, separating the safe officer and making them more involved with the community and educating them on best practices.
So what is a big item you have in mind about the district and how you're going to fix it?
So every council person gets the chance for a couple of big ticket items that they can implement, whether it's changes for the city or big infrastructure projects. But I have two things in mind. One is about data-driven transparency. We have the tools and the technology out there to make government the most transparent of the institutions in our lives. And the local government is the best place to start. There was an article that came out a couple of months ago about 5,000 people's trash wasn't picked up in San Antonio. Wow. And the only reason why we know that number is because a journalist did some digging and wrote an article about it. Well, we have the data to know this fact for every month. We know about August, but what about July? What about June? What about April, May? We have the tools to be able to put that information out there. I'd like to know how many permits were approved by development services, whether it's certificate of occupancies to open up a new business, or whether it's to allow builders to develop new and affordable housing. That data is there. We just need to publish it. I want this out there because once you publish that data, transparency is the best way to hold the government accountable. The other thing that I want to focus on We have a unique opportunity with this designation for the Silk Road corridor. There are other cities that have this. You'll hear about like Little Italy, you'll hear about Chinatown or Koreatown or the Gandhi district in Houston. Those are scenarios where the businesses cluster first and then the designation comes. We're at a precipice where we can put the designation first before there's a saturation of cultural oriented businesses, so that we can create that designation for people. If we do the planning first, then what San Antonio has can be more beautiful and more inviting than what any other city has in the country.
Great. And my final question to you, as a District 8 resident, why should I vote for you?
You should vote for me because, one, I have spent my entirety of San Antonio in District 8, where I live, where I pray, where my friends and family are, is all in District 8. District 8 is my community. And when I think of San Antonio and the streets that I grew up on and the neighborhoods that I grew up around, it's all District 8. Wurzbach, Blue Mill, Days of Allah, Babcock, Huebner. These streets are like my friends. And the neighborhoods, Babcock North, Oxbow, Tanglewood, Laurel Hills, Pembroke, these neighborhoods are like my family. And so I don't approach this from the perspective of, let's say, a lobbyist, for example, that's just looking to profit off of these relationships. Or I'm not someone that's going to continuously run for office, that if this office doesn't work, I'm going to run for something else. I'm in this for District 8, and that's why I want your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Sheikh, and hope to call you Mr. Councilman next time we meet.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Cut.
That was good.